right, well, thank you all for being here. Obviously, this is an important day for us, so we're really happy to have you all here to join us. On behalf of Al and myself, welcome. If you don't know who we are, I'm Scott. I'm the, well, actually, Al is the brewmaster. He's the brewer. Makes all the beer.
And Scott basically keeps everything set up so that I can sit back and eat.
Yeah. I just say I'm the other guy. He's the brewer and I'm the other. So we've got a few people to thank, but before we do that, two things we'd like to recognize first. First of all, I'm going to cry. Big surprise. Clearly, we would not be able to do anything like this without the support of our primary support, which is our partners, our spouses. So Rob, wherever he is, and Julie. It goes without saying, and therefore we have to say it, that we wouldn't be able to do it without them. So thank you. So a few people to thank. You can applaud for yourselves. A few people just to thank for the journey on the way. This journey began in January last year, not January this year. And I blame Eric Sanford for putting this idea in my head. And he's the first person that I mentioned it to. Hey, what do you think, Eric? It was an economic development committee meeting. And I said, what do you think about a craft brewery? He was foolish enough to say, that's a great idea. And I was foolish enough to say, oh, okay, well, let's do that. And I kept the text that I sent to Al and Julie that evening from the meeting, where I said, let's open a craft brewery, and now, quote, how hard could it be? So we found out how hard it could be. Anyway, so thank you to, actually it was Eric and Bob Hadley who were there at the very beginning. And shortly thereafter, a phone call to Andrew Redden at the county. He put us on to Mark Hanley and Leanne Lavender. And really, Mark and Leanne had a lot to do with how they shepherded us through this process through the early part. So thank you to them. Thank you to the municipality, certainly all the councillors, but also the senior staff. Valerie was very instrumental in helping us. Hannah, instrumental in helping us. Roger Taylor, when things got crazy, trying to dig trenches across the road for hydro lines. Long story there. And also Doug Keller and Bob Branscombe, who were super helpful. They came to visit us several times through the process to make sure that we were on board. Yes, it's their job to make sure that we're legal and so on, but we treated them and they treated us as partners through the whole process, which meant that getting approvals at the end was kind of automatic because it had been a journey that we took together. So thank you to Doug, and I know Bob isn't here today, but thank you through you to him. Very soon after, we realized we needed a lot of money. In that text that I sent to Al on that January night in January 2018, I said, how much could this cost? He said, 80 grand. I said, easy. Now, it would have been easy if it was 80 grand.
We were on a piece that did cost 80 grand.
So, big thank yous to CFDC Community Futures, both our own CFDC up in Bancroft, Mary Lynn, and Carolyn Barker Brown, and also the CFDC in Frontenac and Pritchard, who I don't think could be here, and Sue Terrio were tremendously helpful to us. TD Bank, Sarah Warner, Annette Trugan Barker, and Baker and Benjamin Parks were very helpful in getting us the funding that we needed. Connie Robinson, I just pointed to the wrong person. Connie Robinson. It was the same hair color, pointing to Karen Baker. Connie was super helpful because we didn't know that we needed all these bonds to satisfy the government that we were good for the money. And she made sure that we were safe on that score, so thank you. Who else did I want to say thank you? So once we had the money, we had to start spending it, and the contractors that we had were awesome. Don Moore, most of you know, everyone's hunting, right? So none of the contractors are here. But Donnie Moore was amazing. When we got to the end of this process, he said that had he known going in what it was going to be like, he may not have taken the job. When he looked at the place when we started it, he said he thought, okay, we take out a false ceiling, we knock out a couple of walls, do a little gyprock, some paint, 2 weeks, I'm in and out. 8 months later, he finally finished. And so, I mean, Don was very visible, but there were also people that were quite invisible in the process. Scott Trotter and his gang and Tyler Gordon and his gang were super helpful to us. And these guys really do deserve a vote of thanks, because Scott Trotter and Todd were here when we had our soft opening on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. They were here at 6:30 in the morning. We had a problem with the beer line. He phoned me, said I can be there in 20 minutes. Somehow we got Todd out of bed as well. They were here helping us out. We had Jeremy McCoy from North Star Refrigeration was here at 10:30 on a Sunday night because the chiller quit. We didn't even know it had quit. We were suddenly thinking, why is the beer not cold? The chiller had quit. He came out Sunday night. It's just been amazing the support that we've had from these folks. Also wanted just to recognize the McBeaths, because when we were at the end of our rope trying to get hydro in here, and seriously, it was the end of the line, these guys came in and totally bailed us out. Couldn't say enough about them. Lots of thanks to Timber Martin Home Hardware, who helped us out. Rosanna Clark, who did all the graphics work, the big beautiful sign, and Ken Howard, who did our logo work. Peter and Nancy Gooderham, who did all our apparel. Chancey Jenner, who did Generations, who did our woodwork inside for the light boards and so on. Also a thank you, and I'm almost at the end of the list, so don't worry, the beer is still there. Wanted to thank the downtown merchants who were so supportive and helpful in welcoming us to the business community. So in particular, Ron and Peter at the Emporium, Angie at Oats and Honey, Cheryl and Brad from Hidden Gold Mine, Kelly from Kelly's Flowers, who's been super helpful, and also got a lot of support and encouragement from Scott Wallace at Sunnyside Up and John Ray from the Fire Hall, who shortly will be selling our beer, he said confidently. Such good. Also wanted just to thank Arlene and Barb Bateman, very supportive. If you don't know, Arlene, they're cattle farmers. Most of you probably know that. Arlene's cattle eat the spent grain from our proceeds. And if you're interested, I don't know if you are, I was, we have pictures inside of the cattle that were fed on our grain that are now today at auction. They don't know what's coming, don't tell them. They just think they're on the road trip. And then just before we cut the ribbon, obviously this doesn't work without customers to drink the beer. And it's always dangerous to single out anybody. But there are a few customers who have been very special. The Snyder Hand Clan, who can drink a lot of beer. They're keeping us afloat as they float. Peter and Kelly Naylor, who I swear come in and just try everything on the menu. Oh, that's good, let's try that. Oh, that's good, let's try that. And Janice and Ron Southwark, who have been super supportive and also helped us canning beer the other day. And lastly, I know she's inside, Barb Bouchard and Carl Derry have been in many times. And Carl has been very helpful to us in helping us to understand the history of the building. Carl, where are you?
Right here. Right here.
Coming out, buddy, you're almost up.
Come on, Carl.
So we asked Carl if he would do us the honor of cutting the ribbon. Carl's dad built the joint in 1946 and turned it into a Studebaker dealership. And since there's no more Studebakers, we thought, well, we'll turn it into a brewery. So as a tribute to his dad and his family, but also as a tribute to the history of the building, but the history of the area, the history of our community, we asked Carl if he would do us the honor of cutting the ribbon.
Carl, get in behind your ribbon, hon, so you can face the camera.
That works.
That works.
Lots of cameras.
Cut the ribbon.
I think there's some folks who needed, Rick said he wanted to say a couple of words, so if there's other folks as well, Rick. you mentioned it to me first, so.
All right. I don't often go for it.
Well, then we'll find someone else.
When you mentioned Andrew Redden and Mark Hanley, they're a big part of our company. We were able to help you with the process, and on my first beer, I may have another one before I leave. My wife drives me home. But anyway, on behalf of the County of Hastings, congratulations and recognition. 762 Craft Brewery and Tap Room. The Corporation of the County of Hastings wishes to congratulate the 762 Craft Brewery and Tap Room on the occasion of its grand opening.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Is if you deliver the product, the people will come, as the story goes, and it's an unbelievable opportunity to really feel what your community is all about. And Scott, when your introduction here today, when you mentioned just how many people were so involved to make this happen, when you start to experience the share of your clientele coming in all of the years hence from now, it's a tremendous celebration of what we are to this community. So I'm deeply grateful on behalf of the province of Ontario for you deciding to take this plunge, to put your heart, your soul, your wallet, your pocketbook, and your nerve and your courage, everything all in line to do this. But from the reception we have here today, now I'm gonna reserve my final judgment, though. Of course, I haven't had the sip yet. Now, and so I don't want to qualify my statement, but I'm confident that it'll exceed everybody's expectations.
All right.
I'm hearing good things, though.
Thank you.
I'm hearing really good things. And so, folks, all I can do is, I suppose, ask everyone to recognize that these folks have made a tremendous contribution, of heart and soul of mind and money to make this happen. And your support, of course, will help you find the kind of success that they'll have. They've demonstrated that they're community. And I do believe that it won't be too much pain and suffering for you to participate back in that favor. But on behalf of the government of Ontario that I'm proud, pleased to represent, and certainly from knowing Scott and Rob and that, Al, not as long with yourself here, but you touch a lot of people, of course, by what you see in here. And as my father used to say, them's good people. And you know, a lot of truth to that. And folks, it's something we can honestly be very proud of here. So congratulations, certainly on behalf of the government, on behalf of Carol Ann and I, and our family, from our family to your family, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Exceedingly well done.
I'd like to echo Darrell's comments. You know, you're not the first one to have alcohol in this building. I can tell you from experience of watching. The owner of that building coming across with a lame arm like this, and meeting the owner of this building and they socialized for
I
some
see.
hours. So anyway, you're not the first. I don't want to.
We're carrying on a tradition.
Scott,
More Scott
Judy,
across that road.
Rob, and Al, you
things
folks
we
deserve
can.
a lot of credit for what you have done for our community. You are building in our community, and when you asked me, I said, yeah, most definitely, that's great, let's do it. So, you have done it, and we have been there to support you. Sometimes we seem to be putting roadblocks in front of you, but we got it, it's done, and it's operating well. I thank you kindly for your support to our community, and for your family support, for your support, Al. It's making us look good in the eyes of
Eric, the other councillors and.
Oh, you really want us? All right, you will go.
Then you're gonna have the wide angle.
Get over, good looking.
Val, Valerie.
Valerie,
Yeah.